Hello, hello. Welcome to the weekly collective reading for the collective for April 3rd through 9th. Guys, you know what I'm going to say. Please like and subscribe if you like the content on this channel. Any comments, questions, feedback, please put them below. I'd love to hear from you. And if it resonates or doesn't resonate, let me know that as well. I'm super open. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. Enough fluff. Let's go into what this week has in store for us. So let's start with the current energy. Okay, we have winter, take care of your needs. All right, so I love these seasonal cards because they tell us a lot about, I mean, I like them when it comes to like timelines, but obviously we're not going into winter, right? So it's not talking about the seasons directly, obviously. But winter energy is about like hibernation, staying in, reflection, introspection. So I'm already getting this feeling that, you know, I did the monthly, please check out the monthly video as well for April. But I'm definitely feeling like April is definitely more of an action month. So it's very interesting that where we currently are in the beginning of this week is this need to hibernate. We'll see what the rest of the reading kind of says, but it's basically like, you know, we take care of ourselves as far as like self-care needs. There's a term called hygiene that maybe some of you guys would be familiar with. I believe it originated in Denmark, and maybe the other Scandinavian countries adopt it, but basically it means just like chilling, you know, taking care of your needs, like hibernating, like putting on a fire, drinking hot chocolate, you know, doing your own thing. So I feel like currently, like we're feeling that. So, you know, funny enough, April, I do feel like it's a social month. It does feel like an action month, more of a doing month, but it doesn't necessarily mean ambition or motivation. So that's interesting that it's coming up that way, because that's kind of the opposite in a way. And I don't want to say lazy because that's not what it is, but it feels like you're taking care of all your other needs. So setting yourself up for the coming months where I have a feeling it's going to start speeding up. But making sure that we are taking care of our needs are also too, when it comes to that social element, could also mean like make sure you have fun with your friends. Make sure you're you know, doing what brings you joy, pleasure, sensuality, being present and taking in the beauty, because that presence, if you guys saw the previous weekly readings, has been a big part of things. It's like stop and smell the roses. And if you guys are subscribed to my channel and you see my YouTube shorts, you'll see that some of the daily energy comes up that is aligning with that. So that's very interesting. So let's see what the strengths are for this week. Let's move on. Okay, we have student, but we have it in the shadow here. So it says arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Interesting. Okay, so our strengths this week, and this because it came up in the shadow, is that we're not utilizing our strength. Okay, so as the week goes on, keep this in mind, what I'm about to say. Student, we have learned something. Okay, so with all this change that's going on in our lives, we have learned something from all of the chaos, all of the limbo land, all of the in-between, all of the cultivation of all of this change. We have learned something. It's time for us to be the teacher. So basically what it's saying is, and student and teacher have very similar vibrations, because once you're the student, then you can teach it. Nobody's more qualified than the student, right, that learned right underneath the teacher. That's kind of how it works. But basically it's saying don't ever stop like being a student. So there is more knowledge to learn, but there's also more to teach. Okay, so however that resonates with you guys, you know, I should have said in the very beginning, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I definitely do feel like, I have to say, this feeling of arrogance is definitely coming up, where it's like, you feel like, oh my gosh, like I already learned enough. I already got the lesson. I already understand it. Like there's no room for, how do I say this? Gaining more knowledge, absorbing more knowledge. That's going to affect us in some type of way. So Spirit is coming through with kind of a warning here and saying like, you're still kind of, you know, the changes haven't necessarily taken shape completely. You are still the student. You still have more to learn. And then you're going to be able to teach. So that's our strength this week, but don't let that arrogance come through and prevent us from learning a little bit more. Okay, so it might feel like, because like I said, I do feel like the changes are starting to take place in a physical or environmental way. It's starting to appear in our lives. The actual changes are starting to appear, but you still have a little bit more to learn. You're not there, you're not quite there yet. So take it, absorb it, leave that arrogance at the door, because your strength here is absorbing and learning more information. Okay. All right. So challenge. Hold the space. Okay, so challenge. What's going to be challenging for us is this winter energy here. Okay, so these are very similar energies. I'm not shocked that they came up together. Hold the space means basically taking a break, holding the space for ourselves, our feelings, taking a pause, like that kind of thing. Reflecting on our wisdom, right? That's what Druid is all about. So that's also going to be, guys, I'm feeling that arrogance coming through again. Guys, we need to check ourselves this week. We need to check ourselves, okay? There's a level of arrogance that's kind of coming up with us. Guys, if we're doing any type of reflection, we need to reflect on that, okay? So make sure this arrogance doesn't come through, because resting or taking a pause is going to be very, very challenging for you, because I can see how that arrogance kind of comes up, because it's like you feel like, oh no, I'm ready to kind of go, and that's kind of part of the student energy here, where it's like, no, I already learned enough, right? And so I see a lot of us saying things like that, like kind of brushing it out of the way, where Spirit is saying like, no, there's more to learn and there's more time to rest, okay? And that resting is going to be a challenge for us. So interesting energy so far. I'm not going to call it yet and say like, oh, it's a little bit of a slower inaction type week, but let's see what the rest of the week has in store for us. Healer. Okay, so let me read this. It says, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. Okay, guys, my favorite archetype. I feel like I embody this as my number one. I love this. But basically, we need to step into our healer archetype. So basically, what that means is that we all have this archetype. We have the power to heal ourselves, and so being a self-healer. So basically what that means is taking accountability for things that still need healing. So I definitely do feel like, especially what's coming up for me is midweek, is that something kind of coming up where we feel that we still need healing, and action needs to be taken here. What can I do to finally heal this thing? Okay, so this might be that your childhood trauma is starting to get activated again. This might be, maybe a medical trauma or a legal trauma or something like that, something that has affected us that still needs healing. And when the self-healer type energy comes up, that means we need to take action on getting ourselves what we actually need. So whether that's actually going to a therapist, hiring a coach, joining a program, whatever it actually is, it's especially needed this week. I would not be surprised if the arrogance piece of what I'm feeling right here is tied to this in some type of way. It'll make sense to some of you, the majority of you, where it's kind of tied in, but it really could be anything. Okay, so it's important that we use humility with where the places in our lives where we need the most help. Okay. Focus. What do we need to focus on besides our healing? We need our healing, but we need to focus on see beyond the current situation. Okay, so this is really about being able to kind of see different perspectives, see more of a future. So I definitely see more into the future, see beyond what's actually happening. So this is really focusing on planning things ahead. So this week would also be beneficial for us to start planning our, maybe some of us are planning our summer plans. Maybe some of us are planning, making our business model, or starting Q2, because if you guys are entrepreneurs, I know everybody's kind of in Q2. The start of Q2. So, what do you want to accomplish this quarter when it comes to that? So focusing is basically on future plans, and making sure you're meticulous with it, making sure that you actually have a plan. That's what I'm getting here from this. It's like basically Spirit saying like you have a plan. As far as like feelings about it, I'm getting this feeling that we need, like, so far, all right, guys, this is what I'm getting so far. What's painting the picture here is it's not necessarily, I think I said this with the monthly, that it's more of a lighthearted month, but I'm actually pretty shocked at like the feelings that are like coming through and the energy that's coming through for this week, because it definitely feels like a little bit heavier than I anticipated or kind of felt for the monthly energy in general. So like a lot more healing that needs to be done here. And it's very interesting because I haven't gotten any necessarily change cards yet of transformation or anything like that, but I definitely do feel like this is a week that is kind of an anomaly for the month, but it's definitely focused more so on more heavy topics, more heavy stuff kind of coming through, and helping us get back on the right track is a good way to kind of say it. But it does feel like some of our traumas are coming through that are kind of really putting a wrench in things that maybe we didn't foresee, or things that we thought were healed, that kind of thing. So I definitely do feel like it's kind of throwing a wrench in there. So interesting week so far. Let's see what a surprise is. Can we handle a surprise? We have orphan child. Okay, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Yeah, guys, this really does feel like a week of our trauma being activated. Sorry to say this, but something tells me that it's coming. Things that trigger us are coming up to be healed, and they are worth looking at 100%. That's why you're triggered, right? And so this is really, it's starting to feel like, you know, where's this arrogance being triggered here? Like looking back at that, why do you feel like, you know, why do you feel like you know it all? Why do you feel like you don't need any more help? Why do you, you know, and it's starting to kind of break those down and really figuring that out from a deeper level. The orphan child feels like just really feeling like alone, and just really feeling like a lot of our, like some of you guys have a like really deep abandonment wounds, so would not be surprised that's part of the trauma that's kind of like coming up this week. Surprise. So there's a lot of stuff that's linked to abandonment that you're really going to dive deeper on, and that's going to kind of come up. So definitely feelings of loneliness, or feeling isolated, or feeling like nobody understands you, or you're on this journey by yourself, like that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, guys, I'm gonna say I'm not necessarily, it's kind of a mix, like it's kind of action versus inaction, but what I can say with that healer right in here is definitely there is this focus on really healing our triggers this week. That's the best thing I can kind of say. And like I said, not gonna lie, it feels like a heavy week, but let's see what our relationships look like. Okay, Hermit, retreat and recharge. Okay, our relationships are not shocked, relationship to self. Okay, because Hermit is like, can you retreat and focus on you? And like I said, this week definitely feels like a focus on yourself. Work, money, finances, what do we have? Double Hermit, guys. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. All right. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. It's in the light, seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. Okay, so it definitely does feel like not too much going on at work. If you can take some days to work from home, if you're like working in the office and you have options, that will keep you in a place of, not keep you, what am I trying to say? That will help you cultivate more of your inner life, like more solitude, because this is definitely calling for more solitude, because it's funny enough, it's saying like solitude equals more money, more finances, more success in work in any type of way. So that could be also to like I'm probably gonna butcher this, but sometimes we need to rest to get ahead, basically is what this is saying. So this would be a great week to maybe take a couple of days off. I know we're leading up into a holiday at the end of the week, so that could also be part of that. Oh God, that makes sense, right guys? Stuff being triggered here because it's a heavy family week. Okay, so that's another thing. Not all trauma is family trauma. I understand that. There's other things, but this is definitely a week of, I totally forgot about the holiday, because sometimes things leading up into holidays can get really tough for a lot of people. So I'm not shocked that a lot of these triggers are kind of coming up. Family is a huge trigger for a lot of us. So yeah, so doing less is another good example. It actually puts us ahead. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but sometimes we have to rest and pause, and that's how we can go forward in the future. Or, you know, also links to burnout. If you're burnt out, everybody knows, and everybody's been there if they're burnt out. You know, it's pretty much impossible to kind of get ahead. So anytime you can retreat and recharge, basically, is just like pretty simple on what Spirit is asking here for us. And then overall outcome. So let's just take a look. So we have Elder move beyond ancestral patterns. Yeah, so this is really about, this symbolizes to me karma, balance, move beyond your patterns. So a huge healing week. I mean, every single card kind of alludes to that up until the healer card. But like I said, I definitely feel some arrogance here of, you know, and I feel like this is like in the beginning of the week too. So make sure you kind of move past that, or attempt to move past that. There's a reason why you're feeling like, you know, that know-it-all energy. Sometimes it's righteous energy that comes through, judgmental energy. All of those kind of fit into that category. So definitely take a look at that. Like I said, I feel like it's happening. If you're not already feeling it already, you know, take an extra look at that. But I definitely do feel like it's, you know, every single card here really points to, you know, healing our triggers, you know, dealing with the stuff that comes up for us this week, dealing with it right away, dealing with it with an open heart, an open mind, and really working with that energy. Okay, so not a lighthearted week as I expected, guys, but it happens, and it's at the beginning of April, and I'm definitely more optimistic about the rest of April, but interesting week to say the least. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you for the next weekly, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, I put YouTube shorts out every day, so you get daily readings when you subscribe. So, okay, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.